primary school, I wanted my life to be really, really exciting, right? Because I felt like all my friends have these really exciting lives. Like one of my friends, she used to go abroad all the time, and I was like, wow, she's so cool. She goes abroad. And one of my friends, her parents owned a real life proper shop and she lived above it. And I was like, oh, so amazing. She lives above a shop and her parents own it. And one of my friends, she lived in this massive house, like massive house. And I remember at like 7 years old running around it like, this is so cool. This is so amazing that she lives here. And I wanted an exciting life like them. So one day in the playground, I said to them, I was born in Disneyland. And I don't even know where it came from, but I wanted to be exciting. And when I told them, they were like, what? I was like, yeah, I've never told you before, but my mum gave birth to me in Disneyland. And they were like, wow. And I remember them asking me all these questions and I had to think really, really quickly. And I remember at one point saying, yeah, it actually says Disneyland on my birth certificate. And for a few minutes, they were really interested in me and my really exciting life of being born at Disneyland. And I felt really special and really like important and exciting. But very quickly, they stopped talking about my birth at Disneyland and went off and played games. And so when I stopped getting attention, I then said, oh, and I don't have to pay to get into Disneyland because it's like my birthplace, it's like my home. And they were like, wow, you don't have to pay to get into Disneyland, that's amazing. And then I got a bit more attention and I felt really special and important and like I had this really exciting life like them. And then really quickly, they stopped talking about me not having to pay to go to Disneyland. And I was like, oh, this hasn't really lasted very long. Every now and again, I catch myself saying or doing something to try and impress people, posting a photo or a status, hoping that people will be like, wow. And I found a status on Facebook that I'd written from like 2008. And when I read it, I was like, oh, it's so embarrassing. And it said, so excited to be in the studio working with a producer who's worked with Christina Aguilera. And that's all it said. And I read it and I was like, oh, I so desperately wanted people to be like they were in the playground. Wow, Meg, you're so cool. We spend so much time trying to impress people with what we say and what we do, with our photos, with our clothes. We worry what people think. I worried before I started this vlog. I was like, is my hair okay? Like my face, I've got some spots. Like I was worried. I often want to impress people. We post photos to gain people's approval, to gain people's attention. We're saying, look at me, someone give me a compliment. And when we do get attention for that split second, we feel good, we feel special, we feel important. And then when that attention is gone, we crave more. And I think we're getting kind of addicted to gaining people's approval. I am slowly beginning to learn, very slowly, that Meg, I'm enough. Just as I am, I'm enough. I don't need to be the coolest or the cleverest or the funniest. I don't have to have it all sorted. I don't need to get ahead of everyone and impress people. I don't need to always gain people's attention or approval. You know, the word approve means to like accept, and I need to accept myself just as I am and not always worry that I'm not good enough. Do you regularly look for approval, look for attention from people? Do you crave people noticing you and saying like, wow, you're so cool, you're so beautiful, you're so interesting or exciting? I want to set you a bit of a challenge and you can choose whether to do this or not. But next time you go to post a status or go to post a photo, I want you to ask yourself, am I posting this to try and impress people? And if the answer is yes, then I want to challenge you to not post it. Living life constantly craving people's approval and people's attention actually makes for a really, really unhappy life. Let's learn together to accept ourselves just as we are. And to my primary school friends, I'm sorry. I wasn't actually born in Disneyland. I was born in England.